Unspoken GLP-1 side effects and how to navigate Zepbound fatigue and WEGOVY fatigue. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I've lost over 112 pounds the last 2.5 years of being on Zepbound, Mounjaro, and Tirzepatide compound. The combination of those is because of the GLP-1 shortages. And not at the same time. And on today's episode, I have gotten asked over and over and over my last 2.5 years, how do I deal with fatigue from GLP-1 medications? It's one that I talked about 2.5 years ago when I first started my journey of, gosh, I'm so tired. And it was before there was even big, bold side effect claims about fatigue that happens as a result of GLP-1 usage. But on today's video, I want to deep dive into solutions. I want to help you navigate and help you figure out, okay, how can I use GLP-1 to my benefit for my weight loss journey, but also how can I navigate that with having a life? And if you're like me, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a serial entrepreneur, I'm on TV, I got a bunch of, my schedule is enriched. And maybe we can all agree on that. If you have an enriched schedule and you don't want to feel so gosh dang tired, we've got solutions today. So let's go ahead and dive in. First and foremost, none of this is medical advice. Always talk to your own healthcare provider. This is not medical, it's simply my experience, strength, and hope from somebody who has lived the life, talked the talk, walked the walk. It's not theory, it's actually my life of what I've used within these. And the number one is, are you eating enough calories? Because GLP-1 medications have appetite suppression in them. And with that appetite suppression, naturally, there's a delayed gastric emptying with that not eating enough calories and being malnourished, essentially, of where you could take that to the extreme of even going into the malnourished end, can definitely lead to fatigue. And so that's one of my biggest things. Tip number one for you is looking at your calories. Are you consuming enough food? If you are not consuming enough food, I need you to pause, stop, do not pass go, collect $200 from Monopoly. I need you to ring a ding ding and call up your telehealth provider or tippity tap on them and send them a message through one of your portals, your healthcare provider, saying, hey, I'm not eating enough calories. I'm averaging X, Y, and Z amount per day. You probably would like to track that. Would be my encouragement as a friend talking to a friend. For me, it was track number grows of, okay, I'm just going to track for a couple of days on average, how much is the food I'm consuming? How many calories is that? Because if I am not eating enough calories, the answer may just mean, okay, I need to boost up my calories. That may help solve and absolve this fatigue problem straight out of the gate. With that, if I'm tracking my calories, and this is where like the wheel spokes off a couple of different ways in my experience. One, if you've just titrated up a dose, for me, I always had 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 weeks of kickback with different new side effects. And in particular, with titrating up, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, or even longer than that for some, but for me, it was in that ballpark, I naturally had less appetite suppression. And with less appetite suppression, for me, not consuming as many calories, almost always, and I don't like to use superlatives, but almost always came with being tired. That on day 2 and day 3 after my shot, I felt fatigue. 24 hours to 72 hours is on average for Zepbound side effects, or for sure for Tirzepatide side effects like Mounjaro and Zepbound. SEMAGLUTIDE, it's around that same, I don't have the exact quote, but I'm going to say it's around, I'm lumping that in. Take or leave a few hours there. But for Zepbound, for sure, and Mounjaro, 24 to 72 hours is average. For me, it was 24 to 48 hours. So if I took my shot on Monday, I could bet your bottom dollar Tuesday, Wednesday, I had Zepbound fatigue and I was tired. And it's hard to function at a high level like you probably do. If you're watching my content, we're probably similar in that regard of we go at a high cadence and rhythm. We got a lot of stuff and people counting on us. And so taking out, so to speak, in terms of being tired and not functioning as much is challenging. And so I want to encourage you, if you're not eating enough, to fix that. But then where it goes into, if you're not eating enough and then force feeding yourself, that needs to absolutely be a conversation with your healthcare provider, because maybe then the solution is, instead of taking your shot every week, you take your shot every 9 days or every 10 days, or maybe it's titrating down a dose, or I don't know, I'm not a healthcare provider, but I'm telling you, those may be some things if it's that extreme that you're not able to hit your calorie amount that you should be, to not be malnourished. Because that's where I get scared for people is ding, 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 we go into this malnourished thing. And that can be not a great place to be if you're that tired, which I've been. And I've been not tired but also been well nourished, if that makes sense, right? Like it's not a malnourished thing. But as we go through some of these, for me, it wasn't that I was malnourished. It was simply a byproduct and side effect of that, which led into number 2, talking with my healthcare provider. Being in dialogue is very, very important with them to have that conversation with how you are feeling. You should not be keeping this information to yourself that you're tired. Number 3, for me, one of the best things that I ended up doing was I've been testing over the last few weeks, and I have been loving the Gem Bites. I love Gem's Energy Bites. And I had not taken these for a long time. You guys know I talk about Gem all the time because I take their daily bites. I haven't really talked about the Energy Bites because I was so nervous because I get very jittery with coffee. I'm very, like I can't even have real caffeinated coffee now because I will feel it and you guys will hear it on camera. You're like, Elizabeth, you're talking so quickly. I'm like, I know, I had 2 cups of coffee. So basically, I can't have that much caffeine or else everyone around like, I'm vibrating up to the moon. And so one of the things that I have loved about the Gem Energy Bites is the ingredients in them. One of the main ones being the green tea in there, that it helps to prevent, it's not just caffeine alone. It has in there that clean energy support with no anxious jitters because it's made with that green tea. The green tea caffeine component of it for me and for a lot of people is very different than like a coffee stimulant with it. Now, one of the other things is I've been taking this on day 2 and day 3 heavily. I've been taking it every day for the last few weeks because I wanted to test it. But day 2, day 3 for me, for my Zepbound fatigue, very much notice a difference in having the Gem Energy Bites with it. Okay, so it has 97 milligrams of the L-theanine in it. And so with that, that leads to the no jitters or crash component with it. But what I also cared about in conjunction with this is if you see on there, it's got the 50 mcgs of iodine and it says metabolism. Ding, 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 ding. All of my brothers and sisters with hypothyroidism, if you've got hypothyroidism, I am in that club. I have hypothyroidism. You know what my doctor has me taking? Iodine. When I saw this ingredient in there, let me go back to where I was. Sorry, let me click every slide but the one I wanted to show you. When I saw that iodine component in there, I said, oh, my hypothyroidism. I got very, very excited about it, that the Gem Bites have the iodine in there. And that is what my doctor has shared with me very much matters for my hypothyroidism, which also I know is helping my energy. Gem Bites isn't saying that. I'm saying that I know that that is an extra added bonus for me. It's like I won the lottery, but then I won twice because of the iodine in it. It has in there also the ginseng root extract and then 40 milligrams of caffeine, which is like a half a cup of coffee. So for me, taking these has been helpful because it's not like these energy pills. It's been a very smooth eating, a smooth way to consume and to get a little bit of energy, which I usually have around 2 or 3. And that's my Gem Bites in there, but same component. And they come in, let me show you what they look like. They have the flavor notes on them are chocolate with sea salt. Oh my gosh, they're so good. Hold on, let me zoom in. There we go. It's got that like that dark chocolatey taste with it. So you can see it's like a perfect bite. I've already had mine for today or else I would totally gobble that down in 2 seconds. But I love having these because of the components in there to help me have a little bit more energy. And that's been something that I could not, oh, let me just drink some more coffee. No, I could not drink more coffee with my Zepbound fatigue because I'd get that jittery feeling. With having the Gem Bites in there, it's been jitter-free. It has in there bloat-free, the focus and endurance, and the metabolic support. But for me, the extra added bonus with this is not having that shakes that come with having too much coffee. Because sometimes people are like, oh, just have extra coffee. Gem has been very gracious to the Countess of Shopping community. Thank you, Gem, to give us a discount code. You can go to dailygem.com/queen, Queen. I've linked that down in the description link below. But gosh, that has been so helpful for me on this journey of having more energy, particularly on day 2 and day 3. It's made a big difference for me. Segueing into something that doesn't make me jittery, that tastes good, that is also helping for me. The other byproduct is my hypothyroidism with the iodine in there, in addition to having all the other benefits with it too. So, and because it has that green tea, I'm not like jittering out like I was on extra cups of coffee. Where are we? Number 4, smaller meals This is one of the other things about going back over to, if you are tired and having the right amount of calories too, how much that matters. For me at the beginning, when I started my journey, it was all I could do to simply learn my body signals of, okay, I'm full, put my fork down. Okay, I'm hungry, let's go make a meal and pick up my fork. Learning those body cues and body signals at the very beginning and even throughout the first year, and sometimes even today, have been very important for me. And so with that, learning those body signals, but then also having off of that smaller meals. I found for me, when I was doing a lot of intermittent fasting, which I still, that's a whole horse of a different color, and we'll talk about that later. But instead of having these two big bulk meals, that would make me crash and burn. It whacked out my blood sugars. And so having these smaller meals for me has actually helped my blood sugars. It's made me less tired. And did I mention it helped out my blood sugars? I didn't think it was going to, but it actually did the inverse of what I thought, which was helping my blood sugars by having smaller meals. And by having those smaller meals, making sure I'm having nutrient dense foods in there and things that are helping me not be malnourished as well. Now, obviously, I'm not also too, by the way, because I have the gem bites as well, in addition to the energy bites. But having smaller meals, that has made a big difference, segueing over to that. And maybe it's not a big segue. Maybe you go from 2 meals a day to like 3 plus a snack, or 4 or 5 or whatever, just testing. And that's one of my encouragements for you is test, test, test. That's number 5. What may work for you on Zepbound 2.5 milligrams, for me and my experience, strength, and hope, and I'll use my I statements, is very different at Zepbound 15 milligrams. The strategies and techniques I used at the very beginning have morphed and changed, and I've evolved, and my body has become more adapted to this medication over the last 2.5 years. So my strategies have had to evolve and had to refine and get better with those. And so that's one of my encouragement pieces for you also is you may be not doing all of these. You may revisit some of these in like 5 months. Maybe try one and then come back again in a couple of months and try some other things. Number 6, prioritizing protein because it helps with muscle mass loss. It makes us fuller longer, and it's also going to aid and help and support. Now, one of the things when I see prioritized protein that I also did not do, that my dietitian has me doing, is having some carbs. I was having too low of a carb diet for me, and that was also making me more tired. In particular, because I adopted now lifting weights. I very much love lifting weights. I love weight training. And so having to have carbs has been an important part of this for me. Everybody's body is different. I'm telling you to test for your own body. But for me, being that low of carbs with working out, with doing all these things, it didn't fare well for me. Incorporating carbs back in actually have been very beneficial and have helped so much with my Zepbound fatigue. I'm like, who knew a baked potato, half of a baked potato or a whole or whatever, like has been quinoa. Like there's certain things that you can, sweet potato, there's certain things that I can add in that very much aid in and help in my nutrients too, but also going to help with that Zepbound fatigue. Next, hydration. Days I get more tired, I'm not drinking enough water and I feel pruny. So if you feel pruny, check yourself with your water. Are you having enough water along on your journey? I was going to show you guys my cute water jug, my new Halloween ones I got, but I think I took it downstairs. So having cute cups for me, 40-ounce tumblers, has been awesome and very beneficial so I don't get pruny and that I'm staying hydrated. Next, resting. When I get tired, I rest. And I understand with certain occupations, you can't do that. Like if you're, if certain occupations, you just simply cannot do that. Like a teacher, you couldn't in the middle of your classroom say to your little like 3rd graders, oh, sorry kids, I need to go take a nap. I'm so tired. Like there's certain, you just cannot do that. And so powering through and pushing through. But once you do have that opportunity, take rest. And I really, really want to encourage you, your planner is going to be your best friend. Going to your schedule and saying, okay, if my shot day's on Monday, knowing that maybe on Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm gonna be more tired, I'm gonna make my schedule less rigorous. I'm gonna take some things off of my plate. I may push them on my plate for Sunday and like Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning before I take my shot. I do that. I stack on the back end because I know by day 5, day 6, day 7, half-life dose. Half-life dose is on day 5 for Zepbound and Mounjaro. I can do more then. So less on day 2, like Tuesday and Wednesday if my shot day's on Monday, and more on the back end. And so working that has been very helpful for me. Now again, you do you. Take what you want, leave the rest. But for me, that has worked really well to get sleep in, to get rest in, and allow myself that grace of, I'm going to nap a little bit more today. I am going to lay in my bed. Even despite doing all of these things, I still get a little bit more tired because part of this is I'm also losing weight, and that's a stressor on the body. And there's but only so many stressors on our body that our body can do. And so being mindful of that, I'm allowed to rest. One of the other false narratives I've had to break is I've had to earn rest. I don't have to earn rest. From being somebody who's highly productive, I don't have to earn rest. Rest is simply part of being a human being, not a human doing. And so recognizing that rest is also a part of my weight loss journey, as much as working hard is and doing this, I need to be sleeping and I need to be getting rest in. And I need, you know what I mean? Like that really for me has been very much a mental shift, but also facts, allowing my body to rest and go taking a little nap and carving out some extra time. It does not have to be long. For me, it can just be 10 minutes or 15 minutes, has been crucial. And enlisting your family to help you. My hot husband knows that sometimes I just need to go to my bed and just sit there for 10 or 15 minutes, rest my mind, rest my body, rest my eyes, and then I'll come back up and rally. On particular, because I've communicated, hey babe, I'm using, for example, if your shot day's on Monday, hey babe, on Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm probably going to be more tired. I'm going to need to do less things with the family. And also I may just be more tired as I'm at home more. I may just be more tired during that time frame. In particular, if I was titrating up, for sure would communicate that to my partner or other key people in my life. For sure. Hey, my medication's changing a little bit. I may be a little off this week, and then the following week I'd remind them a day or two before it happened again. Hey, like a day or two before, and then the day of, hey, getting ready to change this dose. That may make me feel a little bit different. It may not either. I may be easy breezy, beautiful cover girl, but but I may need to have like just some extra grace. And so having that open dialogue, huge, super important too. And I try to communicate that to my fur babies, my dogs, Fred and Wilma, but sometimes they don't give me the grace that I deserve. They don't care. They're like, Mom, walk me. Animals just don't get it sometimes. But also on the back end too, sometimes they do the day before. Again, going back over, I walk them extra long because I know I'm not going to walk them as much. I walk them extra long the day before the shot day. So I know that if I'm tired, that also they've had a really good walk. Next, nutrient-dense foods. Making sure I'm having nutrient-dense foods. And however that works for you, we are all so different. Obesity is such a wide hoop to jump through. There's many different ways to do this, and many different ways our bodies respond that are different. And so for me, nutrient-dense foods, I like having a lot of fruits and vegetables, fresh fruits and vegetables. Now, as winter starts to come, that's going to change. I'm not going to have access to as many delicious fruits and vegetables, so more frozen fruits and vegetables. But having options that are nutrient-dense foods, super important with that. But also recognizing too, that as I go through these calorie changes, that is one of the most impactful things for me with my Zepbound fatigue, or if you're on WEGOVY fatigue and GLP-1s in general, that I wish I had known at the beginning. And we just didn't know. 2.5 years ago, when I started this journey, we just didn't know what we know now. Like, I don't even think there was much mention of the side effect of tiredness. And I literally talked about it in a YouTube video. And then like a month or two later, it came out. I was like, I'm so tired, that there was in fact a linkage with being tired. And so if you're driving, if you're like a truck driver, for example, I don't know how truck drivers do it when they're that tired. Like, I just couldn't imagine if you have a job of where, you know what I mean? Like, I had the option to be able to take naps. So maybe part of that is changing your shot date and your shot day and talking to your healthcare provider about changing that. I was allowed to change my shot day. It took several weeks to push it back, like half day to get to the right day. So then it would coincide with my work schedule. And that's changed over the last 2.5 years. But I'm sharing that with you because my doctor did give me their blessing of, hey, we can start pushing it back at the time in which, because you want to take your shot at pretty much at the same time. of day, and, you know, like every Monday in the afternoon or whatever. But I got permission to move that so then I can move when my off days were. Reverse engineer in my planner what made the most sense for me. Now, if you have a changing schedule, which I do, I mean, when I go to QVC HSN, I have no control over my schedule. They literally just called me yesterday and were like, hey, we've got a 7 a.m. show for you. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm in Virginia and I cannot do that. But then I got another call for another one. Oh, 11 p.m. Like, they're a wide range. Like, there's not a consistent schedule. And so if you have that kind of occupation too, it's challenging. It's challenging. But control the controllables for you? What are things that you can control out of this whole list that I just talked about that you can control, right? I think one of the first things is tracking calories in. If you're only having like 200 calories, that's extreme. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're only having a couple hundred calories per day and that's day after day after day after day, like, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. And I feel like your healthcare provider, from my humble opinion, is doing you a massive disservice. And I've seen it happen over and over. And I want to encourage you, have an open dialogue with your healthcare provider. In my free encouragement group, countessofshopping.com/group, we talk about a lot of this stuff. We are not healthcare providers. It is not medical advice. It is our own experience, strength, and hope, not coming from a place of judgment, but of what's worked well for us. And that's one of the things I love about our group, is staying in our own lane. But sharing what this has worked really well for me, this hasn't. And so I really want to encourage you, if you're not in the group, check in. And if you are in the group, check in today. Go ahead, and there is an awesome thread going today. I want you to go check that out too. If you are already in the group, it's lively over there, honey. It's lively. So I hope this video has given some clarity. For me, very much so, learning about how much calories and how many calories in a given day affect my body, of making me more energized and more tired. My dietitian also wanted me to track too what specific foods reacted well to make me have energy and what foods made me really tired. And that has been very helpful as well too. So I would encourage you on that note as well of, okay, well, if there's certain foods that just make you notoriously tired, staying away from those, you know, or staying away from those on the peak appetite suppression days. 24 to 72 hours with that. For me, it's 24 to 48 hours. The data says 24 to 72 hours. So my beautiful friends, I want to make sure you also run and get your discount from Jen. Go to dailygem.com/queen, QUEEN. That's linked down in the description link below. Our emoji of the day is going to be a sparkle. The beautiful, was it Susan? Susan DM'd me on Instagram. Was it Susan? Hold on, I'm gonna pull up whose name it was. Was like, we need to have a sparkle or a glitter emoji. And I was like, we do. So this is in honor of, oh, let me go back over. Who was it? Susan, it was Susan. It's in honor of Susan. Our emoji of the day is a sparkle, and I do emojis of the day to get to know you better because I care. It's also my bat signal to pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, uplift you in positive thought. My beautiful friends, I am so grateful for you. I'm so grateful you're here. I want you to go ahead and try out Gem Energy Bites as well. They are so good. They're so good. They're so good. They're so good. And have been, most importantly, so helpful for me. Share this video with your bestie. Be kind with yourself. Be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, beautiful friends.